Hi, I'm Chris with Sanderson Test Prep, and in today's video I wanted to talk a little bit about the ACT essay, just because it's come up recently with a few students, and students have been asking, okay, when I read all these perspectives, and what am I really supposed to do? Am I supposed to just pick which perspective I find that I agree with the most? Or am I supposed to just describe each perspective in greater depth or in my own words? Or how do I deal with these different perspectives? So I want to talk about our essay structure for the ACT essay and a little bit about how we want to structure an ACT essay. So first thing we can see here is the structure. We want it to be something that is a very straightforward 5-paragraph essay. That first paragraph is going to be our intro or thesis, where we introduce our own idea. So you want to, in that first paragraph, talk about your idea in response to the prompt, not addressing any of the perspectives, but your own thoughts, your own interpretation, and your own perspective on the prompt as it's stated in that first paragraph. Then in the subsequent paragraphs, you're going to discuss each perspective as it relates to, you're going to compare it to still your own idea. Everything goes back to developing your own perspective or your own idea. And that can be very difficult. If we've just read 3 opinions or 3 perspectives on anything, it is really hard sometimes for us to then come up with something original, because we end up pulling from those other perspectives. It's like if you're trying to write a song. If you know a lot of music, then a lot of times when you go to write a song, it's very easy to fall into that place where you're pulling some music from other songs that you've heard and you don't even realize necessarily that you're doing it. And then when you go to play back the song that you have written or created, you say, oh wait, it sounds a little too much like this. And that's what we want to avoid on an ACT essay. So make sure you take that time after reading the initial prompt, before reading each of those 3 perspectives. You will see them across the page, perspective 1, perspective 2, perspective 3. Before you read that first perspective, take some time to see if you can internalize and understand what the prompt is discussing, come up with your own opinion or your own ideas on that topic, and then once you have established that, I would even recommend jotting it down. But as long as you take the time to even just mentally clarify, here's my opinion, it becomes that much easier to read through each perspective and then identify where your perspective is aligned with or where your perspective differs from those. And you can always indicate that a little bit more easily once you've taken the time to really establish your own idea. And that is something that when it comes to scoring on an ACT essay, one of the categories has to do with your development of your own ideas. So you have your ideas, the development of those ideas where you go into a little bit more depth into each, and then you have your organization and language use. Those 4 categories. I use IDLE as a way of just remembering what those 4 categories are, but it's your ideas, your development, your organization, and language use. And to have ideas that are your own, and then to develop those effectively, you can really only do that if you've taken that time with the prompt to understand where your perspective lies prior to jumping into these other 3. For more tips, please feel free to like and subscribe, and you can also check back in for more videos. Thanks for watching.